Imagine stepping back in time to the dawn of the modern Olympic Games in 1896, a moment brimming with anticipation and a fresh start for international sport. Athletes from around the world gathered, eager to test their skills in a variety of events, many of which are still cherished today. For tennis specifically, a sport making its Olympic debut, athletes from 6 distinct nations competed. These were Great Britain, Greece, Germany, France, Hungary, and the United States of America. The limited number of participating countries in tennis, and indeed in many events at the first modern Olympics, largely stemmed from the challenges of international travel at the time. Journeys were lengthy, expensive, and often arduous, meaning that only individuals and national sports organizations with sufficient resources and dedication could send athletes to Athens. Furthermore, the concept of a truly global sporting spectacle was still very new. Many national Olympic committees were only just forming, and the established federations for individual sports like tennis were not as widespread or interconnected as they are today. This meant that participation was often driven by individual athletes or small clubs, rather than large-scale national delegations. The Games themselves were also primarily a European affair due to geographical proximity, with most participants coming from the continent. The United States, while further afield, had a strong emerging amateur sports culture and dedicated athletes willing to make the transatlantic journey. Understanding this early participation helps us appreciate the humble beginnings of the Olympic movement. It highlights how the Games have grown from a relatively small gathering into the massive global phenomenon we know today. It also shows that, even in its earliest form, the Olympics brought together diverse nations, laying the groundwork for the inclusive spirit that defines the Games now. You can look at the original medal tables and see these nations making their mark. Interestingly, many athletes in 1896 competed as individuals rather than as official national teams, especially in sports like tennis. The International Olympic Committee later assigned their results to their respective countries for historical record keeping, which is how we attribute these 6 nations today. This was truly a pioneering era for international sport. Another fascinating aspect is that, in some cases, athletes entered events directly at the Games, without extensive pre-qualification or national trials. This reflects the more informal and foundational nature of these first modern Games. So, while only 6 nations contested the tennis events in 1896, their presence marked a crucial first step. Their participation, despite the logistical hurdles, symbolized the rekindling of the Olympic ideal and set the stage for tennis to become a permanent and globally celebrated Olympic sport, demonstrating the power of sport to unite nations even in its earliest, most challenging days.